This could be your year. Make an old man proud of you. Forget about the tears on the level.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt. Joining us this happy holiday episode is Mr. David Ariew.
What's up, guys?
Happy
I look like
Honda
I'm
Days.
wearing one of those stupid, nighttime, those pajama caps.
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like I need.
Your
an elf.
nightcap. Yeah,
Right.
You are an elf. Happy Honda Days, everybody. We're doing a little holiday
Honda
show
Days.
here. Yeah. We don't have much planned, so it's pretty much going to be an all skate. This is an all skate. I have like 2 notes, but we wanted to hang out for the holidays. Didn't do a show last week. We were too slammed. Matt and I were both just over our heads in client work. So EJ couldn't make it today either, unfortunately. So maybe we'll do an episode with him pretty soon and, catch up with him on what he's been up to. I don't feel like we've talked to either of y'all much this year. Even David, the last one we didn't even have enough time to catch up. So it's kind of good we've done a couple of them here,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you are in your new place, so you're on a laptop with a bad mic.
Yeah, I am. I hope that you can hear me okay, but
It'll be fine. We'll run it through AI. It'll be great.
It'll be great.
Right. That'd be that would be fun to try, actually. See if it makes you sound like, gives you that microphone sound.
Yeah, there you go. We got this 40-acre property out in Ridgeway on the western slope of Colorado. So I'm up in the mountains. I've got, when I go outside, there's nothing and nobody, and it's so peaceful, and I love it.
Mountain man.
We've got this crazy panoramic view of the mountains, and it's just like 20 minutes to town, either to Montrose or Ridgeway. And Ridgeway weirdly has like way better restaurants than Castle Rock ever did. And, I was just kind of tired of the Denver urban sprawl. And our horses are literally a minute up our street, boarded with our neighbors. So we get to go hang out with those guys all the time. And so we have 2 houses on this property now, this little one for me and Chelsea, and then the other one that's basically an apartment and a big garage that is my office and a general art space. And, we've got room to build cabins on the property. We can, do whatever the hell we want. So it's
40 acres,
pretty sweet. Yeah.
How's your internet?
Nice.
It's fiber.
Nice.
Nice. See, I'd be worried, like, going out in the middle of nowhere that you wouldn't be able to get good internet.
That was one of the things that it took us a year to find a place like this that ticked all of our boxes.
Yeah.
And this one, Chelsea had to fight so hard to get the fiber installed because it was at the street. Like, that was one really cool thing. It was at the street, but to get it up to the house, they had to dig a trench and nobody. And there's like a war on this street with the people that don't want the fiber. They're like, get off my land, basically.
Weird.
Oh.
That's they're like digging up the road and stuff, and it pisses people off. But so we're like probably the first people to actually get fiber up here, and Chelsea just hounded them for more than a month on end. And yeah, it cost like $5,000, but we got fiber run to both buildings, so
that's awesome.
It's like a gig up and a gig down. It's best internet I've ever had. So
those people are like, how dare you give us good internet service?
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't want that kind of trash around here.
I've got my Starlink. It's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the questions in the chat here was, when's Jules coming back on the show for the Brigade updates? I know everybody wants to know what's going on with Brigade and some other things, so we will definitely be figuring out a date for Jules in the new year to come talk to us about that stuff. Last time was an AI conversation, so we need to talk about Octane. And one of the reasons we can bring you the show is because of our sponsor, Otoy. They're the makers of Octane and the Render Network. I've seen a lot of people doing some fun stuff with their credits on the Render Network. So we will definitely let you know when Jules is going to be on the show. With Octane Render and Render Network, you can make beautiful renders and you can render them quickly. Just go to otoy.com and thank them for helping to make our show possible, especially here during the holidays.
Speaking of which, I'm currently, for the rest of the month, I don't have any client work. My client work was crazy until end of November, and then it just dropped off a cliff, but in perfect time because it literally stopped the day that I moved. And now I've got time to like unpack all the boxes and get my life together. But
Get your life together.
yeah, no,
it's a lot.
Yeah,
a move is a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah, we're creating, like, we had a 5,000 square foot house, and it's unbelievable the amount of shit that we accrued. And so I'm like, get dumpsters up here. I'm like, throw it out, just dump it all. Like, you know. So we're like total 3,000 square feet now. So yeah, there's a lot that we don't need. Like it was conveniently, like, a lot of stuff fits pretty well, but then there's just so much shit that.
So much.
Like,
it's ridiculous how much we just acquire when like you've got a big, like, that was our problem as well. It's like we got a big house. It's like 3,200 square feet. It's like,
gotta fill
it with stuff. Now we have too much stuff, you know.
Exactly.
We're moving as you can see, my messed up background. It's because I'm moving my desk around because we're bringing my wife up to my office as well. My wife. So that, you know, we can all kind of be in here together. But it's like I'm taking a whole 96-inch long desk and I'm just like, get rid of it. I don't want it anymore. You know, my 72-inch desk is fine. You know.
Yeah, you end up getting a lot of stuff, and I've got storage from all these years, all the stuff that I've acquired, and we went through it a couple weeks ago, and at least kind of got rid of some of the clutter to compact it. But the problem is, then, you know, storage, to get it out of the house, you put it in storage, and when it's in storage prices are so skyrocketing.
So
right now.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, we're Marine condo. This shit. I don't want any more boxes in the garage. I want to turn that into a gym or something. But
nice.
But so what I was saying earlier is that I've been testing, like, basically breaking render with my art, because I'm doing a bunch of projects right now. One is for Artec House, and it's, do you know Artec House? They're this immersive. They're an immersive, like, it's kind of like Team Labs or whatever, but it's in New York, it's in Florida, it's all over the place. But I'm working with the one in New York, and so I'm doing these 15K resolution by 7K renders. So it's like completely destroying the render network right now, and they're on the back end trying to fix things and trying to make it good enough to handle that resolution. So I'm kind of like compensating by going to half res, and I'll double it in AI. But theoretically this week they're going to do the fix that's going to allow me to render that full 15K, which is really cool. Like, I'm really excited. There's no way I could render this with my machines locally, you know.
It'll only cost $1 billion render tokens.
They gave me a lot of tokens. They're they're wanting to break the render network, so it's kind of a win-win for me to be able to render my big art projects and them to see what it's like in production a bit more, or I'm just chatting with the team constantly and giving them feedback and telling them what I like and don't. So it's really cool.
A lot of people have been doing that. Chris Clemson's been doing it. He always likes to test how far he can take things, like not as far as resolution, but like caustics and light bounces and things, like trying to, shoot a laser off a disco ball and see what it can do. He was doing these crazy experiments and throwing them at render. And that is kind of what's great about that, is like they want you to break it. They want you to put it to the limit so they can make it fit everybody's like crazy ass things that they're doing. Because, you don't know. You're building this thing. You don't know exactly what all people are doing with it,
Absolutely, yeah.
So, even After Effects, I was doing Matt and I were both doing some comps in the last few weeks for, like, holiday shows and stuff like that. They're, 10 to 12,000 wide. And then when you throw into that a render that you got to put in there, man, like, it's crazy town. So super cool, and super cool that they're giving people, lots of free credits too, and grants and things like that.
Grants. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to position it as like the future of, you know, immersive content rendering of all these different things, you know, and they're like so well positioned to be like an indie solution. You know, the big studios out there will typically have their deadlines and their, you know, dedicated render farms that they manage themselves, but that's like such a bigger cost. So this is like, yeah, to me, it's such a perfect solution for, you know, small teams or like individual artists. And right now I haven't even set up my big machines. I'm working off this laptop, which this thing was given to me as well by HP. Like there was one day where EJ, like we had a meeting in Denver with EJ. It was like me, Luis, Scott, and EJ and this guy Rick, and he ended up giving us all HP laptops for like,
that's cool.
You know, as like artists, you know, I don't know I still haven't figured out what the benefit is to them, you know, because I haven't like hardly used this thing, but now I'm like actually getting in and using it to render my art, and I'm kind of treating it as just an art only machine, no client work on this thing. And hopefully, you know, at some point I'll have battle tested it enough to come back to him and give him a good report and like, you know, promote HP in some way back, because it's like, holy shit, this thing's got like a 4090 in it. It's really nice. So
you're doing it right now. That's the payback for them, you know.
That's true.
There you go.
W's in the chat. W's in the chat for HP.
Done. Yeah.
Can we get some W's in the chat for HP? Come on.
Hold on.
The thing you were talking about, you know, the move thing. I just thinking. I talked to Nick Denbar this morning over email. We had been chatting about him coming back on the show. I haven't seen him in forever. Smearballs. And I was like, you know, dude, we haven't talked in a while. Let's catch up. He's like, yeah, I've been remodeling for like 9 months.
Saw that. Yeah. He did it by hand. Remodeled his whole 1,200 square foot. I don't know if it's an apartment or what, but yeah, crazy.
I mean,
that's what he was doing before he got into this industry, was like construction stuff. And so, he's very well equipped in order to handle all of that stuff. I remember, I think the last time we had him on or something, he was talking about, or maybe 2 times ago, how he dug his own well for his studio. Like, just like dug a well. So he's got a whole bunch of well water, you know, for his studio that he dug himself.
Amazing. The photos that he posted, I think on Facebook or wherever, of the remodel were just fantastic. And besides like a couple like random contractors here or there, he did it all himself. What a great sense of satisfaction to do that and be like, yeah, I did all this. But to have the freedom to take 9 months to do that as well. Dude, that's super nice. That's epic. Like to literally like take all your computers down and say, I'm not going to be in front of the computer for 9 months. Like, that's crazy.
Sounds so good.
Yeah. I know. I know.
We're all these old jaded Mograph dudes at this point. We're like, construction sounds good right now. Let's do that.
Construction sounds great.
Absolutely, it does. With everything, it's changed so much, you know, like how do you feel what is your current state of feel of AI right now? How do you feel about it?
I really want to get into it next month. I've hit up Logan Sprangers because he's doing some amazing work by driving AI with 3D, you know, using 3D as a way, like reskinning his 3D work and whatnot. And he's like creating stuff that's so in his style with AI and really beautiful and crazy. And I'm like, okay. So I hit him up and he's going to teach me some stuff in January. But it also feels like the industry's in such a state of flux, like you guys have said, that it's just constantly changing. You can't, by the time you wrap your head around one tool, there's something else out that beats that, and it just feels like an impossible race to catch up with. It feels very overwhelming, but I think as it becomes more controllable, you know, I think 3D artists are going to have the edge because we'll be able to art direct it in a way by creating some kind of shitty render and then having AI make it way better, and that's controls that the general population doesn't have. So I think we all need to start getting into it, as far as I can tell.
You know, I've been, you know, Dave and I recently worked on a project where, you know, last year we had done some of the similar stuff, and so like we were using AI for it last year and again for it this year. And I was telling him, I said, I don't think there's been that far of a leap, in comparison to last year. It's like I keep on seeing all this stuff and they're talking about these like exponentially awesome things, and then as soon as you try it, it's like, nah, that doesn't match up to what you guys have been advertising. I feel like this big AI boom right now. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, the stuff that is being created is absolutely incredible, but I don't think it's to that point yet. And I don't know if it's ever going to get to that point, where it's like, okay, this is only what I'm going to use.
Well, did you
I'm
see
not going to have
somebody
to spend all my time redoing a ton of stuff.
Well, Sora, finally came out where you can use it. I haven't had a chance yet, but somebody did remember the original Sora video that came out that was showing like the boat in the coffee cup and like a couple of those things. And they did the same prompts to say, okay, this is what they advertised. Now I'm going to go type in those prompts and see what I get. They did a side-by-side comparison, and it's not what they were originally advertising. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the things you can't put as a reference, you can't put people in, I heard, or something. If you're doing a reference, I think they don't want you to use people's likeness, which I understand. The stuff that like Runway is doing, I love the way that people will combine different uses of AI, right? Like they will take and they will do, okay, I'm going to make an AI character, right? And they'll make the AI character the way that they like it, but then they want to put it in a scene. Right, so you take that and use Runway ML, you put that character in a scene, but in order to relight it, you run that still character through Magnific and let it change the lighting, match it to your scene, and then you do their mouth movement deal where, like, you can, like, record yourself doing some motions and saying some things, and then it will match it up. That's kind of cool. Remember, is it Nathan Shipley who was doing a lot of this AI
that
stuff.
That was really cool.
And we had him on the show way before it was easy to do.
Oh, is this taking using AI to generate a 3D character that's like rigged, and then you can?
No. So what Nathan Shipley was doing recently with some of his stuff is he would shoot a video. Like, for example, he shot a video of like a Barbie doll, and then remixed it in AI to make it like a real person so that he'd have the same camera move and stuff like that. It was really cool.
Yes.
Let me see if I can find it, Dave, and you can bring it up.
Yeah.
One thing I saw Don Allen doing, if I understood it correctly, was having AI create turntables of 3D characters. So once it's a turntable, then I don't know if it's photogrammetry or what you're using to extract the data, but I thought he was like converting that into an actual 3D character that he could apply mocap animation to. Because that kind of thing sounds really interesting to me. It's like if we can use AI to generate really high fidelity 3D assets, that would be sick.
Yeah. I really like Magnific AI. Magnific AI is pretty cool. It's the stuff that Beeple uses. He introduced it. Yeah. Adding a lot more detail. What's really nice is like being able to both upscale and add the detail. So if you get like a really low resolution texture or something from TurboSquid, you throw into Magnific AI, upscale it, and add more detail, and it really helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Beeple, I talked to him the other night. He was sending me some dailies that he animated with some AI software.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was looking really cool. Just stills that were fully coming to life, and it's like, I love stuff like that because it's got his fingerprint. It's very clearly Beeple, and it starts with him, and then AI is animating it. Like, that to me is cool. Yeah, I'm more interested in the ways that we can combine workflows with AI than just like pure generative, like prompt bullshit,
Right. And like the stuff that I was doing at camp where, I was turning things into AI and then remixing it with MIDI and doing all of that. That's the stuff that feels organic, right? Because just because AI is in it doesn't mean it's like there's no humanity in it. In those circumstances, because you're injecting your own humanity into it and using it as a tool.
pure AI can feel like it's beautiful a lot of the time, but it can feel so soulless. And I just I get creeped out with the humans and how they kind of mimic facial expressions, and often it goes like too far, and it's just there's something really unsettling still about AI to me.
My favorite AI.
Sure.
And this is the stuff that me and Dave share all the time on Instagram and TikTok. It's the weird AI where it's
the weird
like
AI is fun.
Liquid oozing out and like weirdness with people. I freaking love it. That is my favorite. Like that is my favorite use of AI, just to see how weird you can get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I love memes. Like queso memes and stuff that like they animate and then all of a sudden he turns to life and he goes into Waffle House. You know, they're so weird, but it's so fun. There was if I could find the report here, is this an advertisement?
I sent you a link to the Nathan Shipley stuff we were talking about.
Oh yeah, I'll come back to that in a second. I saw Rev posted the local Channel 2 news. Had a little write up on Winkleman because he's got his
Mike Winkleman.
Yeah, Mike Beepleman.
Mike Beepleman.
I think this is it. Best known. Yeah, just there. Here we go. Yeah. So what's the name of it? Is it Gibbs? Right. At this museum, he's got one of his cool little
it's in South Carolina,
thingies. Right? I believe so. Yeah. He's kind of doing something locally there, and this is one of his pieces. You've seen this type of thing, the ones that he did, the big cubes. This is like a double cube. I've seen this one. I saw this one live. That's the one back there. That's the single version there. I love that one. Yeah, he was showing that off when we were there for the event. I hope we do another showdown again. Yeah, in 2025. That certainly would be fun.
He's planning it.
What's that?
What?
I said I think he's planning it.
We talked
he hasn't talked to us about it.
One. We talked about having a second one last year after we did a little meeting, but we just haven't had a chance to catch up. And I'd love to be involved in doing that again. I know he's busy, but
Totally.
What you said you sent me the
Nathan Shipley stuff.
Yeah. Where did you send it to me?
In our chat in Skype.
Oh, in Skype. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll bring it up because he was doing stuff. Oh yeah, he was doing stuff a long time ago, and we had him on the show.
Amazing that it can go from a freaking Barbie to that.
Right.
I know. And he was doing this stuff in the command prompt, like before Midjourney, all of that.
Nathan was the one he was the very first person I ever heard of doing AI stuff. And he was the one who was programming all of Beeple's work in order to create new Beeple stuff. Honestly,
was he?
It's funny because Mike was the one who told me about him,
No
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
So he's been in this since the beginning.
It definitely makes me want to take all of my old renders, anything that I feel like has a really cool camera move, and then reimagine it with AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the stuff he originally was doing, like he was taking Bella Porch, or and videos of different people and like mimicking their mouth movements. Now you see that there's just like random apps that do that, no big deal. But the stuff like this, he was doing this stuff years ago already, and now, of course, this is just stuff you can just do in Runway at ML in like 30 seconds, just nuts. But he's like super OG, so I feel like he kind of has a leg up on some of this stuff, You know who this looks like? This looks like that guy on TikTok who like has the bald head.
Oh, like who's bald and like has all the hair. Yeah. Like super creepy or whatever. Yeah. I know who you're talking
about. These were all done way back when we were talking to him, and all like super command prompty, lots of programming, lots of libraries that you have to install to get it all work. Like, remember Bella Porch? Seems like so long ago.
I don't remember
she made
her.
TikTok famous,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. And Ariev, I honestly I didn't I really didn't know how you felt about AI. You know, there's a lot of people have strong opinions about it. You know,
I'll have a strong opinion. I mean, like it's scary, like for any artist, I think. But I think it's like could threaten anybody's career on the planet theoretically. You know, once them robots get involved. So it's like, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's rapidly advancing technology. So of course, a lot of people are going to get freaked out. It hasn't hurt my client work by any means yet. So, you know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And that's the thing. Like, it still doesn't do what you want it to do. You saw the Coca-Cola commercial, right? Did you see the AI Coke commercial for the holidays? It was.
I'll send it to you. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's like you want to talk soulless? That is soulless.
Yeah.
But the amount of like buzz that it created in our industry, just everyone sharing it, it's like, damn it! Now I got to go buy a Coke because I'm thirsty.
I think that's the point. I honestly, I feel like that's the point right now. I feel like it's using it for the buzzword. It doesn't matter if it's good or has a soul. It's just to do it. I don't think that Coke is going to do it again next year. I would be willing to bet money that they're like, yeah, we tried it. It was just for the lulz, and next year we'll actually spend money on it. You know.
There you go, Ariev. I threw it in the chat for you to watch.
There's people with 11 fingers and. You know, it really just feels meh.
The scary thing, though, is that opening shot looks so good. Could totally be something that, you know, a 3D artist spent a lot of time on, you know?
Yeah. But every time we do anything with AI, I you know, for a client, first of all, they know it's AI. They know we're using AI. And second of all...
Are you actually getting client work that involves AI?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. It's like creating backgrounds or using AI for backgrounds or like stuff like that, and then animating, you know, stuff within it, you know,
or for a texture.
Comping.
Yeah, lots of comping or special formats, right? Oh, I need a still frame of a mountainscape, but it's got to be, you know, 32 by 1 for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, or you know, stuff that you would have to sit in Photoshop and piecemeal together all day. You know, just to have a texture. Not for main elements, but
I think the AI is best at creating like nature scenes and stuff like that. Like how you said that outdoor scene or whatever, those scenes were like fantastic. AI is great for that. But it's like once you need something more detailed, like that, those shots are gorgeous, you know, but once you need something that actually has detail in it, you know, that's where you lose it all.
Well, from what I've seen is it still struggles with physics more than anything. Like, you know, did you see the video of like, it was a gymnast or something? It's like gymnast is the Turing test for AI. It's like just the limbs are just going
I think that was no, that was wasn't that Ray Gun? At the
no, that's a different one. That's a different one.
They did one on Ray Gun too.
Ray Gun?
Ray Gun, you know, the Australian breakdancer.
Oh yes, yes, absolutely.
But the opening shot with the Coke, you know, the liquid in there is moving pretty well. There's like a burst of, I don't know if they may have added those particles on top. Like
I bet you anything there was some comping in there for that first shot.
There's a lot of comping here. Like anytime you see the Coca-Cola logo, they for sure comp that in, you know, because AI often really sucks at logos and text still, you know.
Yeah. It puts a Pepsi on there.
The last time on the last show where we were going over it is that I believe they were comping in the Coca-Cola logos on just about everything because you can't get AI to do that correctly.
Yeah.
It puts a Pepsi logo. It's like you know.
The Pepsi logo.
Yeah, Midjourney put a Pepsi logo on there. It'd be funny if they had like a no change policy. It's like, we're going to make this with whatever AI spits out, and there's no turning back. You can't tell it to change anything. Pepsi. Santa Claus drinking a Pepsi. Can't have that at the holidays.
Sacrilege.
Sacrilegious. Ugh. Okay, so holidays.
Right. Yeah, I'm not on the cancel train. I don't, I'm not gonna get mad about this shit. It's like the genie's out of the bottle. I don't know. I just don't understand the intense backlash necessarily. But yeah.
I think the backlash, of course, is
about stealing artist jobs. It's about copyright, all of those things,
Right. And it's also, a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to take our jobs. But like, there's so much artists still have to do, even if they're using it. So,
And we've been talking about this. Like, I mean, it's the same argument. We've been saying, AI is going to take our jobs and stuff like that. It's like, it's been a year and a half, like 2 years almost. AI hasn't taken our jobs.
It's just made it easier.
The thing is, like,
difference between, like, we just want something that's, amorphously in this Coca-Cola concept with Christmas trees, and we're willing to settle on, these not being the exact shots we want. And we want this exact thing. Like, we want exactly what's in our brain to be downloaded into the screen. So for that, you're still going to need 3D artists. You're going to need animators. So, yeah.
Until they can put your thoughts into the AI.
Right.
Our thoughts are in the AI.
It's more just like until AI becomes actually art directable. Like, it's just not that art directable right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What are y'all doing for holidays?
I'm sticking around. All the families coming to my house tomorrow. For like hot chocolate and whatever. No, it's not fun. My house is a disaster. So, that's fun that I get to spend the next 2 days cleaning, and then the party comes over and then everyone messes up the house. And then I get to spend the next couple days cleaning again. I'm not bitter about having family over or anything. But then right after Christmas for New Year's, Amy and I are going to go to Vegas for a couple days. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try and go to the Sphere and see it. I haven't seen it yet. So we're going to try and get tickets. No. I mean, I've seen the outside. I've never been inside.
Oh, inside. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, I'm jealous. I really want to see it.
Yeah.
I still haven't even been to Vegas when the Sphere's there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, you got to go. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. For the holidays, it's pretty chill for me this year. We're just we're setting up some Christmas trees and, getting some little gifts here and there. But, it's like moving's pretty much throwing a wrench into Christmas over here. But, we're jamming Christmas tunes and, having hot cocoa and stuff. And it's like so snowy outside that it's like kind of perfect for the season.
What's the temperature in Colorado right now?
I mean, right now it's probably like in the upper 40s. It's like gets pretty warm during the day, and at night it gets down to like the 20s and 30s. But it's not that bad. And we had a fire pit the other night, which was dope, and roasted some marshmallows, and At our previous place, we were doing fire pits until our neighbor, like one day, we're like out by the fire pit. I'm like smoking a joint, and and out of the fucking bushes comes Olga. Her name's not actually Olga, it's like Irina or something, but our neighbors were Russian, and she's like this monster of a woman, and she comes out in her nightgown and all of this, and like just like out of the freaking bushes, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, we're having a fire pit, and she's like, "Your house?" Like, she's like,
I can't hear a word you're saying. It's like cutting out.
Okay. So I guess my imitation's not working. But she basically was saying that the smoke from the fire pit was getting into her house somehow, and it woke her up, and that she'd been dealing with it for 6 months and hadn't said anything. It's like, why didn't you say anything? So that was the end of fire pits for us, and that was like 2 years ago. So
I'd be like, call the police.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get into battles with neighbors though. It's just bad karma.
Yeah. Yeah, they should have said something though. Like way earlier.
Well, they actually did call the fire department on us before. We figured out that's why. We didn't understand why someone had called the fire department on us. Weird. And it's because the smoke had gone into her house, and then we didn't realize it was her. We thought it was our other shit neighbors, because we were sandwiched on both sides by these like old, like nosy, curmudgeon, like they just these people that hate life, they hate children. Like the guy next to us was like taking photos of the kids that were running around in the backyard, like literally being like, get off my lawn, creepy. But also creepy, really creepy.
Yeah,
and like,
creepy.
Yeah, it was like one day Jan actually was visiting, and Chelsea, Jan, and I were just sitting in our little backyard, you know, in the middle of summer, like chilling, and there were kids across the way running around the open space, and Terry's up there, Scary Terry's up there with his camera.
Scary Terry.
Yeah, that's the neighborhood calls him Scary Terry. And you know, he didn't realize that the kid's dad was out there, and the dad just goes up and yells up at his balcony. He's like, what are you doing taking photos of my kids, you fucking pedo, you fucking pedo.
Wow.
And we're like, what? And we're like, is this really happening?
Dang, dude.
And then that dude like reported him, but he reported the wrong neighbor, because the other neighbor on the other side at the time was named Jerry. So we had Jerry and Terry. So they like tried to arrest Jerry, and then those guys were the actual nice ones, and they were freaked out by that. So they got out of town quickly and sold their house, and then they were replaced by the Russians. So yeah, it was just
it
was a whole saga over there with our neighbors. So
that's why I don't ever talk to my neighbors.
We didn't mean to. We didn't want to.
We didn't mean to talk to them.
We were just minding our own damn business, and then, you know.
Wow.
These old
yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of Rick and Morty characters moving in next to you? Is that you had Jerry, you had Scary Terry. Oh, bitch.
Oh, bitch. That's awesome. I didn't even put that together, but yeah, you're totally right.
Scary Terry, welcome to your nightmare. They need to return Scary Terry next season.
Scary Terry was a Rick and Morty character. That's amazing.
Love Scary Terry.
That's a whole new level for me.
Do you think that, speaking of which, you know, things like Rick and Morty are not coming back very soon, and other shows because of the writer strike? Like, this has been I feel like there's been no episodes of anything new in years. Do you think that it'll be good for us, like, when things start moving again, finally? Maybe they're already moving, but
I've been doing a episode of Law and Order SVU, so that's still a thing, which is pretty interesting. I'm actually creating a fake video game for them. Speaking of pedos, it's a episode where let me just segue with that. It's an episode where the cops are trying to catch pedophiles in basically a Roblox like game. And so they couldn't use actual Roblox, so they hired me to create a fake kids video game where they're tracking down the pedos. Yeah, pretty crazy.
Is this not NDA'd?
I didn't sign an NDA.
Well, there you go.
That's funny.
It's their fault.
You're right, it's not out yet. Don't say anything. Everybody shut your ears.
Yeah. Rewind.
But anyway, so that TV show is still going strong. I don't understand it. Like, that show is so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, do you think that the Diddy madness has like also just kind of caused Hollywood to be crumbling in a way, or what?
Honestly, like I think I don't think anyone watches TV anymore. You know, it's like everyone is on these short form factor like TikToks and Instagrams, and like I don't think anyone's watching long form shows and stuff. Like,
sad.
It's hard for me to watch stuff. It's ruined my attention. I cannot sit for an hour and watch anything anymore.
I can 100% sit for an hour. You know, I could sit and watch an entire series. It's just, who has the time nowadays? Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, wake up at 6 a.m., get your kids ready for school, you know, work for 8 hours, come home, get dinner cooked, get the kids, you know, showered and in bed. By the time it's over, it's like, I don't want to do anything. I want to veg for like 2 hours and then go to sleep, you know?
So the problem is working 8 hours. You shouldn't work 8 hours.
I agree.
Yeah.
But
it's like, and then I got to clean my friggin' house, you know?
Yeah.
Got to spend all my time cleaning my house.
For your dang family.
Housekeepers are the same, like, think of them as therapists. They're mental health. No joke.
No, I agree.
I wouldn't want to put my therapist through what my kids do to this house.
That's funny.
Yeah. Still have to pre-clean, right?
Right, and that's that. Yeah, it's like if I'm gonna go ahead and pre-clean, I might as well just clean the whole house. You know.
I don't think we didn't do a lot of pre-cleaning. I mean, we didn't have like, a ton of clutter, but our housekeeper was kind of magical in that she would just put stuff away. She'd be like, after so many years, she knew our house and she knew where we stored everything, so she just put it all away and do all that. And she did our freaking laundry. Yes,
crazy.
It was amazing, yeah. But no, I mean, we had, with a house that big and a bunch of people living in it, made sense. But here, just like 1,200 square foot house, it's pretty dang easy to clean ourselves,
Yeah.
I'm waiting for stuff to come back. I'm waiting for things like, here's the problem. I can't get into anything new, and it's the same with video games. It's hard for me to get into anything new, but I'll play something or a new version of something that's like GTA 6. Of course, I'm going to play it, right?
Yeah.
But some rando game I've never heard of.
In like 10 years when it comes out.
Yeah, we'll get everything before GTA 6. But really, like what I am waiting for is the stuff I used to watch. For Star Trek to come back, for
Stranger Things.
or Stranger Things, Orville, and hopefully that means that right now people who do the VFX, especially Orville, man, they are killing it with the VFX. Hopefully those people are getting the work right now. That's good for our industry, but I can't wait for it.
Didn't you? You just had to bring it up.
The Orville? Yeah. You got to get... Dave's getting drunk and talk about Orville.
Exactly.
I used...
Man, bringing back memories.
Yeah.
I've been watching Silo. Yeah. Silo's really good.
Yeah. Silo, yes. So I watched the first season of Silo, and I was like, oh, man, this is awesome. I need to know what happens. So then I went and got the book. And apparently the first season of Silo is only like a third of the way through the book. It's called Wool.
It gets through most of the book. Yeah, Wool is really good.
Does it?
Yeah, Chelsea's actually friends with that dude, Hugh Howey.
Really?
She knew him before he blew up. He's kind of the Beeple of her writer world, because he was like one of the early people to be self-published through Amazon, and then all of it blew up and he made millions of dollars, and now he's got a TV show. But yeah.
I read the first little bit, and then I got to what happens after the first season. I was like, okay, I don't need to read anymore. I know what happens. I'd love to finish it, but I think that's another instance, like similar to we were talking about the 3-body problem. Like that's an instance where I think the people who did the TV show did a much better job than what the book was,
but that is a rare occasion, I think, where you're right, where the actual TV show is actually better than the book, and that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, especially when you've got a series, like, if I can listen to a book for 12 hours or whatever, it's a 12-hour book, and then you've got 12 shows, it's like it gives you a lot of chance in order to build in this exposition and like the tension and stuff like that. And I think Silo did a really good job on that.
Really? Have you guys been watching Arcane? Have you got through the new Arcane?
No, I hear it's pretty good.
It's really good. Yeah. Really good show.
I don't even know what the last show that I watched was.
Okay.
I started that new Ted Danson show,
Cheers.
But
I love that. That was so
Is it good?
Yeah.
Have you seen The Good Place?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. See, The Good Place is like my favorite show ever.
Yeah, by the same creator, so yeah.
Yeah. So we started it and I liked it, but I just couldn't find the time to keep going,
Severance season 2's coming in January.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we have some meetings and hard outs that are coming up probably in the next 15-20 minutes. So I wanted us to be able to have time to make some predictions for next year. This is our last show of the year. We'll be back on, I believe, the 9th for the next show. I don't know who we're going to have. It's either going to be EJ or it's going to be Smearballs on that episode. But before we do, I thought it would be fun to kind of do like 2025 Mograph predictions about what's gonna. What do you think's gonna be the thing next year?
I don't think there's gonna be anything, man. Like, honestly, I don't.
the technological singularity, and it's an event horizon, and there's going to be nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get me started on Willow right now.
Yeah. What about Willow? The show?
No, the computer, the quantum
movie
computer. No, the quantum computer. It's
the quantum. Okay. No, that's you know what? I keep hearing all this Willow stuff. It's total BS. You know, it's like I think
performed the calculation like.
It performed a calculation where it proved that there were other dimensions, and it's like
no, it didn't prove there were other dimensions. That's the Joe Rogan explanation. That is not the real explanation. I saw Joe Rogan talk about it, and it's taking sound bites from people and saying that proves we're in the multiverse. That's not true. But what is actually cool about Willow is the fact that when this thing performed the calculation, it's something that a regular computer would take longer than the entire history, length of the universe to perform.
Yeah.
That's the part that's cool about it to me. It doesn't prove there's other dimensions necessarily. That's been misconstrued.
It did a calculation that would have taken the entire time of the length of the universe to perform.
Yeah,
more than that, like 10 septillion years.
How are we judging that? Are we judging it similar to the way that Pixar said, if we were to render, it would take 120 years to render this film? It's like, well, yeah, when you're using one computer, Well,
like, it's a test. Saying,
we're taking all the computers that have ever been made ever, and it would have taken 12 septillion years,
It's basically
or it's like, we're
test.
taking one computer. It would have taken one computer.
It's a test that they give. It's a regular test that they give to computers in general. It's like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a test to see, how good a new computer system is, right? Basically, all it's proving is that Moore's law is completely gone. That's what it's doing. It's saying like our best computer right now would take the entire 10 septillion years. I mean, the universe has only been around for like billions of years. We're talking like magnitudes bigger, right?
6,000 years.
And what this also proves, here's the other dilemma that comes up with this, is that potentially it could mine all remaining Bitcoin. Potentially it could break all encryption on anything. This becomes a kind of a dangerous thing.
That's crazy. That's really
we're talking like it took 5 minutes to do what any other regular computer would take 10 septillion years. Like that's.
Do you think if they mined the rest of the Bitcoin or whatever?
God, guys, we're inventing God.
I mean, yeah. If they mined the rest of the Bitcoin, do you think the Bitcoin price would go down or go up?
It would become completely scarce, so it would go totally up because this computer would own all the Bitcoin.
Yeah, the rest of the Bitcoin.
Yeah,
but I mean, even if.
It's like not being able to have it's like being able not to print money or do quantitative easing anymore. It's just it's all mined. There's no more left. So I mean the value probably would go up. I mean it's like gold, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it's hard to find more gold. You've got to like mine it, and that's where we're at. But like most of the gold is probably I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I imagine it would go up.
I do enjoy Justin's comment. It says, safe prediction, Max on 1 will get a little price bump. I like that.
I was going to give a shout out to Justin because he's been like the entire comments from the Peanut Gallery.
Yeah. So, let's get a W in chat for Justin. Here we go.
He's also been shouting the boy this whole time, like making these snarky comments that I've been reading and not saying anything about. But Justin and I am very entertained. I'll just let you know that. And I'm not talking about the square footage of my house just to like fucking brag. It's like a blessing and a curse. It was a burden, and I'm happy to be free of it. I prefer this small 1,200 square foot house, honestly. Yeah.
I hear that, man. It's a lot to clean for sure.
Yeah.
Spooky action at a distance. That's what we're talking about.
What's crazy is like we used to talk a lot about we don't have enough time for this for the whole over it, but like honestly in the past like probably 4 or 5 years I feel like the industry has stagnated significantly, like there's no big like, oh, let's get on this or let's get on that. Like I think there's going to be like tiny increments now. There's not going to be some game-changing thing like there was with like GPU rendering, or I don't even think I don't think real-time rendering is going to become a thing.
Yeah, I love that in the comments. Now that you mentioned that you haven't mentioned the square foot of your house, that counts as a mention. Somebody, we talked about the brigade a while back, and I don't remember who it is that commented on YouTube, and we were saying, well, maybe brigade isn't going to be announced because like the technology is getting so fast anyway. And someone's like, well, that's stupid. That doesn't make sense. And I'm like, because it's not that fast. I'm like, right. But they're always thinking 5 years ahead. Right. Yeah. And it is very possible that some of this quote real-time brigade stuff is already going to make it into the stuff we already have in the next 5 years, making it, if it's 99% real time, does it really matter?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even care if it's 99% real time. I don't even care if it's real time at all. Like having done really so much work in Unreal, it's like Unreal's quality just isn't that great when you're trying to go real time.
It's not. But what I want, like the reason I want Brigade so bad is like there is actually a significant amount of time that you spend just waiting for the fucking render to fire up. When you're navigating around, it starts chugging. Like having a true real-time render engine would actually, I think, speed me up like 2 times or something like that. It would be a very noticeable difference, and with light, with any of this stuff, texturing, like there's a lot of lag that we've just gotten used to, and it sucks. And so I wouldn't want to render final quality with that. I would want to kick it off at the full quality, go back to Octane. But I think it would be a really, really useful tool for art direction and previs and all of these things,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I was working on a Redshift project a few months ago, and like it's a massive scene. Like, and C4D just can't handle massive scenes like that, like big cityscapes and high poly counts and stuff like that. And it was taking 20 to 30 minutes just to load the first pixel, in the IPR. Right. You'd start it up, you'd go get yourself a coffee, hang out for a little bit, and then you'd walk upstairs and it would finally be done. Just a first pixel.
I predict that Runway is the one that's really doing it right now. I feel like, I haven't played with Sora. I'm sure that that's going to get even better. I think that next year, honestly, is going to be the year of AI video getting a lot better. That's my prediction.
I think there's going to be an AI bust next year. I think people are going to see that like only a few companies are like really doing it well. And it's like all these little things are just going to go into nothing. It's going to be the new .com bubble.
It won't be gone.
NFT bubble.
A new NFT bubble, yeah.
Yeah. My prediction is more of a hope. I hope that we all start working on larger digital canvases and immersive content. I just did a project with Harrison Vincent, basically taking this guy who's a famous painter named Michael Brandrup. He makes these really colorful, beautiful, large paintings, and he's doing an immersive exhibition in Miami in March. And so we basically took his paintings and figured out all the different ways we can convert them into fluid sims and get them to move and like separate elements. And I was doing tons of like real flow paint sims and stuff. And I just think I don't know, I'm tired of working on these small screens, I think it's just way more interesting when you can think of a whole room or like these bigger exhibitions. I mean, it's still a niche, but I just think that's a really great way to make our work so much more impressive and so much more, and bring it into the real world more, right? Versus everybody just watching it on the phone or on a laptop or whatever. It's like an experience that people can go visit, and I think that's like way more powerful. And I also hope that VR continues to advance. Like I'm still on that train. I still think that that's the most interesting way to display our art, or at least for me, that's like I think the greatest thing I've ever made is my VR experience experience, and I'm only scratching the surface. But it's like I'm waiting for the technology to catch up. I'm waiting for the resolution to be better. I'm waiting for the, just the data bandwidth of those devices and how much data they can play back at once to improve.
Brigade in VR, Brigade in VR. And I was going to bring that up too, because you're talking about using different size screens and stuff, and that's what VR allows you to do, is create around yourself with real scale,
Yeah.
Justin in the chat says that his prediction is Chris Schmidt starts streaming shirtless on OnlyFans. I would
pay for that. I'd pay that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I would love to see, I don't know, I would love to see a tighter knit community, because the community has splintered so bad over the past few years. It's like
Blender's fault.
What?
Blender's fault.
It's all Blender's
It's not.
fault.
I don't think it's Blender's fault, but I do think
Well,
it is another 3D company's fault.
It's a combo. I mean, there's a there's a split, there's a void, but like we've said before, it feels like that some of the not all the Blender people, some of the newer into the industry Blender people are missing out on what the community was like before, and it would be nice to kind of huddle it in a little bit,
Yeah.
The only perspective they have is an online community, maybe, versus IRL.
Right. Yeah. Right. I would also, you joked about NFTs, but honestly, I still like them, I would love to see the
such a good time.
The hick and yuck or whatever that we joke about, that's the type of vibe that I want back from NFTs. I want it to be I would love to see it be we're creating little card, a collector cards or something, something like Pokemon cards, but it's your friend's artwork and stuff like that. You buy for $5. I would love that,
Yeah. We've got 5 minutes until Ariew and I both have to go on to something else, so we unfortunately have to wrap up. But I will say my last prediction. Okay, wait. Justin's last prediction is Andrew Kramer comes out with 15% more body mass. Yeah.
Dude, that guy is jacked.
And then lastly, I think Hawk Tuacoin is going to just...
Kramer comes out with Nebula.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That might be a tough one.
That Hawk Tuacoin's going to go to the moon, and hodl on that, No. Anywho, I'm going to go to bed. All right, cool. We got to get out of here and go back to real life.
Thanks for being on. All the best of luck with your, really big house and stuff.
Hey,
your 50,000 square foot house.
What?
I said we've got a shooting range. We're getting an ATV, and we're going.
Oh, that's fun.
Full redneck over here. All right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Going full mountain man.
Mountain man. Yeah.
Full dead mouse.
Yeah, exactly. That is one of the only times I rode an ATV, and I almost died.
Me too. I was riding.
You were riding on the back with me, weren't you?
No, I had my own, and I went up and almost tipped over backwards because the thing went just vertical. Yeah.
Yeah, I was riding on the back of Joel's of Dead Mouse's, and my butt was bruised the next day. I'm assuming that's what it's from.
That's right. That did not look fun at all.
Oh man, I had so much fun.
No, I had fun because I had my own ATV, and at some point I started racing Joel, even though I didn't know what I was doing, because I was just because he's got this competitive edge, and I was like, you know what?
Yeah, he does.
He sure does. He does. That's funny. All right, well, we got to get out of here. Make sure that you hit us up on all the things. Check us out, mograph.com, mograph.com/TV, and on all the platforms, some which may be staying and some which may be going. We don't know. Who knows?
We'll
Whatever. Thanks again, David. I hope everybody has a great holiday. We will be back on January 9th, I believe. And we'll try and post some socials about when that's going to happen. But
January
we're going to get out of here. Till next time, I am Dave.
And I'm Matt.
I'm David.
Have a
Later,
good one.
yo.
Later, yo.
Pretty good, I guess.